Hey guys, welcome to a Saturday afternoon at the old Coyote Gnome home here. We're hanging out, rocking a little bit, man, having a good time. Dog's hanging out over there on the bed, taking it easy. And baby, it's a good day to be alive. Been feeling some anxiousness today in the atmosphere, but a whole lot of good vibes too. I think a lot of that anxiousness centers around that comet is on, ice on, they say, is on. Well, babies, I think that comet's still on. They say it went around the sun and disintegrated. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not saying otherwise, I'm just saying keep your eye on the sky, your mind and your heart together, man. Don't let them separate. Don't go off into panic thinking it's the end of the world or that, the buffalo no longer roam. You know what I mean? That's not happening. What is happening is a change, a transfer of power from the head to the heart, a reintegration amongst the masses of humanity, so that people are no longer thinking and feeling as they have before. Eventually that past just becomes a blurred memory, a shadowy thing. Something we know right well, but not something we carry with us anymore. Because we park that burden at the end of time, man. That's where we're headed. So yeah, hell, there's a fat ass comet coming. But I never thought it was a comet. It didn't even look like one when it was going around the sun. Their tails are supposed to point away from the sun. This one just jetted on in, leaving a trail just like a jet would. I mean, come on. But it's not belittle the powers that be or anything. I mean, there's some folks at NASA that mean well by us, and a lot of them that just think we're crazy and don't want to give us nothing. There's just people like the rest of us, subject to their own whims, but it's getting harder and harder for them to hide the truth, just like we said a while back. And I think their day is coming, but it's just because of this reintegration. You'll feel it in what they call the crown chakra. I really don't like that word chakra because it divides us up into sections. But it identifies for me now the place where this is happening, through the top of the head, straight through to the heart. And in the process, the mind melds, merges. It does the old Vulcan mind meld, baby. But really, the energy, in, down, anchoring. And those lost souls that have been wrestling with this, you're sick and you're dying and you're worn out, exhausted. Baby, your day has come. Because that ain't happening no longer. I used to do street healing, what they'd call street healing. Got led into it in the most unusual of ways. Hell, I never set out to be anything like that. Ever. Shit. I just wanted to have fun in this life. But yeah, it wasn't like I was just a party boy. I am, but it's not the center of my life, except in the fact that I party in the heart all the time, baby. So what I'm telling you, what's always been at the center of my life is this idealism. And it's given me strength because it wasn't just a philosophical idea that I was attached to. But it was an expression of heart that I came to know. The older I got, the more I found out about myself. I did a lot of this through traveling and encounters with many, many other people. I'm a seasoned veteran now, of the great highways of America and the little towns and the big cities and everywhere in between, Been there, done that, but boy, there's sure a whole lot that I missed. I'm not saying shit. For all of my traveling, they're dropping the bucket. Shoot, I got waitress friends that travel the world. You know, I hardly ever been off of this continent. I've been to Canada and Mexico a few times, sure, but that's about as far as I've been. I never even been across the water to Honolulu yet. So for all of my journey, and I've gained a lot. There's those that would make me look like a young whippersnapper. Imagine the wisdom they'll gain as they go through this process we call living. So I came to be this street healer. I wound up back in the mid-90s. I wound up in Boulder, Colorado. And I had maybe $15 to my name, and I needed to eat and stay alive and stuff. So I already knew that energies were working through me like they never had before. Maybe they always had, and I just hadn't seen them. But anyway, I'd been in public contact work for a long time. Even trucking, I always wind up with these jobs where I'm dealing with a lot of people. That just happens. But anyway, so I've been in like customer contact and shit like that, and I'd got into some wild and interesting conversations with people over the years. And in the last 6 months, maybe a year before I came over to Boulder from Oregon, I noticed that people were healing of things. I would we'd get into these good conversations, very deep, very personal, in the course of my work. And as I was leaving after these good conversations, boy, they were enlightening too. God just raised the energy. It was such an awesome thing to be doing. I didn't give two hoots about the money I might or might not be making. That was secondary. It was the contact with the people. You would be amazed at the folks I met living there in the backwoods of Southern Oregon. There's some brilliant geniuses, some of the world's most renowned people, a lot of people that have worked in secret areas of the government and so forth. I mean, and because they're living back in those mountains and feeling kind of safe, they'll talk to you, baby. Oh, man, it was a learning experience, I'll tell you. But as part of all of this, I noticed, because, now I'd been getting retrained by the spirit there in those mountains anyway, So I was like already on what I would call this ascendant path, moving in a good direction, though I still young and crazy. A little hot and wild-blooded, too, Some days, just to calm my temperament, my buddies would come there and take me up into the mountains and feed me beer and weed. We'd sit on top of the fire tower and watch the mountains grow, It was beautiful, but I could be real passionate at times. I've calmed down a lot from there, but I still have my moments. Oh, geez. But it seems with the passage of just days, we're all getting tamer and tamer. I mean, some people still freaking out. Yeah, you got to expect that, man, And, you got to expect the powers that be to fan the flames of fear as much as they can and hide as much from the people as they can, too, until it's right on, They fear disaster worse than the people do, believe me. Because then it's on them to clean up the mess, Or make it worse, which is typically what happens, but let's not go there. We're moving into a new world now where such things will no longer be of concern. Yeah, it's been pretty raggedy here. We've sure shown a lot of uncare for one another. It's been cold and dark these last 200 years. Darkest of the dark ages. As far as human feelings go, the way we treat each other, the worst behavior humanity ever created for themselves to experience in these horrible wars. But not just that, the day-to-day living, the isolation of individuals and persons one from another, the fear equation going up and up and up through the years. Seen a lot of people harden up in my lifetime, but I've sure seen a lot of them soften up too, myself included. So there I am, I visiting with all these people and getting into these deep but beautiful and powerful conversations, and I'd run into them later and they'd tell me how their lumbago was gone from their legs, or they'd been to the doctor and their heart was perfect. Their back, which was forever in pain, they had no pain. Well, I knew such things were possible. I'd seen it in myself already. And you know what you create in yourself, then you can create for others. This is what I was discovering at that time, which has led me to this phase of street healing, where I still do a little of it, but nothing like what I did then, It's a little different market now for the spirit to be dealing with, and that's why I'm talking to you here on videos and so forth, on the radio shows and so forth. Going to have a live show pretty soon. I'm working to get her there, baby. Step at a time. I won't make no announcement and have everybody waiting for something that ain't going to happen like I did last time. Hey, we all screw up, but man, that was a lot more. I mean, I'd done such stuff before, and I thought this would be a piece of cake. Well, it takes a little bit to get it flying. I've had to re-equip and do some other things too. But we'll be live here on YouTube pretty soon. So then I knew about my gifts, or I was discovering them. And I would discover a lot more of them as I proceeded to party amongst the people and share the energy of love, the strength and endurance of spirit. With everybody that I met, really, but people would come to me for these personal readings. I did it on a donation basis, free of charge. You didn't give me a dime. I didn't expect it. If you shared a little bit with me, I loved it. I lived at the behest of the universe, and it felt good to be doing it. You know what I mean? And spirits just came in, and angels and so forth come work with me on that Pearl Street Mall there in Boulder. I just sat down to start with on a little blanket and offered readings and healings, life readings, I called them. And yeah, we did some pretty phenomenal stuff there. Saw some real arousal of heart. It's quite the wave. Heck, I think by 98, we were in such a place that we almost could have forgiven ourselves and got on with the Ascension. But it didn't quite happen that way. Though I did get a radio show in Denver for a while. I was on late at night. A little talk show, Conversations with Coyote. Some people still remember it. It was quite phenomenal. We did the same thing on radio that we were doing on the streets, helping people understand what went wrong and in the process of fixing. Well, that's basically what we're doing here on these YouTube videos. So I'm still doing the same thing. It's just a matter of a deliverance, I guess. Thank goodness it ain't Burt Reynolds' movie. So babies, just hang in here. Let's see what develops with this comment. I really want to see that. I felt something really different about that one coming in when I first heard about it. I kept quiet about it for a while, and then I started talking a little about it. And yeah, a lot of people got it cross-wired with those blue star prophecies, blue star, red star prophecies. Shoot, we might just be fulfilling them right now. I don't know. All I can say is I know what is happening. It's pretty phenomenal. And there's a lot of hearts opening up right now that otherwise would have been closed. But circumstances, conditions, energetic changes here have allowed those who would normally not receive to be receiving and sharing and changing. So you're going to see, along with this divine opening, and that's all you can call it. It's an opening of the divine in each person it affects. And then it affects everyone, because each person is every person. We're all in it together. One person gets it, everybody's got it. Because everybody is the one person, and everybody's a small part of it too. The thing that makes up the universe, not just our place of being, but all that lives. And it's a far different place of being than what our perceptions tell us. So be watching for the deceptions, that the astronomers and so forth are going to pull. Trying to hide things from you, This Earth and her environments surrounding, have taken a turn for the better, and there's not too much to be concerned about right now, though you got to get through what's going on. And it may continue to be a little intense, though I feel a great softening out there. As this new wave of energy passes in, it begins to pass through our crown, down through the mind to the heart, and then expands the awareness, the understanding throughout the entirety of your creative being, that person that you are, sitting right there right now, opening up and taking the leap. Because in your heart you know it's time. We've shit around long enough. Bullshitted around long enough, man. We've done some pretty awful things. But babies, look where it's led us. If that's the price we had to pay, then it's paid. And you can consider it done. And the old karmic account closed. Because if we're going to hold it against each other, baby, it's going to go on forever. So it's complete as it is. The package is wrapped in nice little red ribbon on top, tied in a bow. And it sparkles and shines. And we'll go leave it under somebody's holiday tree. And pray if they ever do open it, they appreciate what they find there, because we're sure leaving a lot in it. Times of Ascension, yeah. They're here. They're in each one of us. We're growing. All of us. It's becoming visible. So people don't panic no matter what's going on out there in the perceptional world. Party like today's the day that you become ascendant, that you finally fulfill the most ancient longing there ever has been and ever will be. There inside of yourself. Finally, wholeness returns. And we're no longer dealing with one another in these partial ways where we don't see the truth of the reality about each other, but rather the bullshit, the illusion. Deal with the shallow person we've done in the past. But that will be past us now pretty soon. All of that angst, the fear, the danger that creates the fear. Going south on a soft sailing train, and we ain't never going to see it again. Boy, I feel a soft summer breeze coming through us here now in the middle of winter. Ain't that sweet? God, I love you, man. Just remember, it's rock and roll. And in the end, it does soothe your soul. Party hardy, kids. Papa loves you.